I think all these things that are very public have taken away from the Packers' leverage. And whenever you're talking about deal making, it's easy to talk about comps and everything like that, but comps are only comps if the leverage is comparable. And there is, I don't think for either side any, it's just almost like let's get a deal done and let's move on is how I view it. Is that how you see it from a 30,000-foot view? Where do I have it wrong and what do you think is going to happen?
No, I mean, especially with where we're at now and the fact that it hasn't happened and it's so public. Like you said, the Packers basically said he's not going to be here. He's not playing here. Aaron comes on here and says like he plans to play for the Jets next year, and still nothing happens. And I hear this could go all the way to the draft. Like, it's not good for either team to be hanging in limbo right now.
Neither team, it's good, obviously. But for the Packers, you got $60 million in the cap just sitting there. Free agency just came and went. Not that, the Packers are normally big-time spenders, but it's like Jordan Love, you're going to want Jordan Love to succeed.
Yeah.
It's like, are you just going to have a guy sit there and take up $60 million?
You lost Lazard already, too. So
he said that they didn't even really talk to him, right? You know what Lazard kind of said, that the Packers didn't even reach out to him. I think Goot wants like his own team, which, by the way, he will be judged by. This is a results-oriented.
Goody was there when they drafted him, though.
Yeah, he drafted Lazard. Which
okay. So that doesn't make sense.
But they have two new guys this year. Obviously with Dobbs and
Christian and Romeo.
Yeah. And then they had two other rookie receivers, Torre. They got in the 7th round.
He was a good player. Remember, Aaron?
Yeah, he didn't get very many opportunities, but when he did, he was pretty solid.
There's a chance the Packers are very good. Like, we are not saying that there isn't a chance.
For sure.
But at this exact moment, it's like
a lot of holes to fill. Yeah,
and you got $60 million being held up right now just because of what? Stubborn? I don't know what could have. You know what I mean?
Very selfishly, I do kind of hope it gets dragged out and then he gets traded on draft night because that'd be great for us.
Oh, for the show?
Yeah,
for the draft spectacular.
Absolutely.
That's a very selfish play by you.
Absolutely.
I like it.
There's a lot of humans involved in this that I think, Aaron was obviously not thrilled with the situation where it was.
Sure.
Clearly.
Mark Murphy clearly not thrilled with the situation. Goody not thrilled with the situation. Fans not thrilled with the
Jets
situation.
aren't.
Jets, nobody's thrilled with the situation. It's like, can we not just fucking make a deal and move on and just understand the reality? I think that is a lot of our questions. But I woke up trending because I was getting murdered for all very valid reasons what they were saying, but it's also results will tell us all the answers to this whole thing, I think.
Well, and I wonder if now, because like you said, they missed out on the free agency boat, completely. So now the fact that they didn't get it done beforehand and they really couldn't be players in free agency at all,
can't miss out on the draft.
Exactly. So they probably are just all right, fuck it. We'll just wait. It's it makes no sense, but also that's kind of they made their bed, now they have to sleep in it.
Yeah.
Right. And it don't make sense to not even communicate with Lazard. Obviously, they saying, all right, we're getting rid of everything that's with Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to start new. So that could be a good thing, and that could be a bad thing. But they got time. That's one thing. He got time in Green Bay. He got 2 to 3 years to prove that he's what they're saying he is.
Who, Jordan?
Yeah.
So he's... Kinda. I don't
know. What if he doesn't light up this year? Then they may have to draft a QB.
Yeah, they have to do it, and then a reback in the. This is an interesting situation that they have put themselves in, which gets forgotten about from the Packers fans that are attacking me. Guti and Murphy put themselves in this situation. This is. Whenever you make a decision to think about the future, it's beautiful. That's a good idea. That's how you properly can protect the future profit of a business as well. If you're in charge of that whole thing, have to think ahead, have to think forward. But also there's other things that come with those decisions.
Yeah.
And it's if the guy that you have goes back-to-back MVP and then the whole thing, and then now you're just sitting on an asset that you thought was going to be great, but you haven't even got a chance to see. And now we have to uncomfortably, awkwardly move on. And also our legacies matter from this whole thing as well. It's it's a complicated situation. And I don't know why all parties aren't just yo, let's get fucking, let's move on.
Yeah, next chapter.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. There is no middle ground.
Draft night will be the thing.
There is no middle ground. It's either, hey, the guy I drafted, Jordan Love, he is the next franchise quarterback for us, and that was a success, or he's not, and Gutekunst was the guy who shut the door on the Rodgers era, potentially prematurely, and that's what he'll be remembered for. There is no middle ground. It's either Jordan Love is a smashing success and it was the right move and they got lucky again and moved on to, and then that's regardless of what Rodgers did. Even if he wins a Super Bowl with the Jets.
Peyton situation.
Exactly. But if he doesn't, that is what he will be remembered for.
Yeah.
Is you closed the door on the Aaron Rodgers era prematurely, and and you'll probably get fired.
But they could be good.
They could.
Yeah,
be.
they could.
And I hope they are.
They could be really good. Could be really good.
We just saw the Jets sign Hardman in that last hour.
Yeah, McCall Hardman.
Yeah.
Do you think that is a move that the Jets made? Maybe like they thought, sure, we can go after some guy in the second round this year's draft instead, sign Hardman, and then feel more
Lose to
comfortable.
13.
Yeah, like losing both that pick and possibly a
The more
second
time
round
it
pick.
goes on, I don't think it's not going to be a first round.
I said last week, even during this whole thing, that like a 1 with like a future potential third or second
escalator.
like I feel like everybody would be like, that's a good deal. But then you got to think about the Jets who hit on their draft picks.
Right.
Besides quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Quarterback they did not hit. They put themselves in a situation as well.
Correct.
So I guess like the Packers fans, a lot of them said like the Jets have no other options. Like, so the Packers care about the AFC East New York Jets. Like that's their leverage. Like you guys are fucked. It's like, do you think that is what the Packers like? We can really fuck over the Jets here. It's like that is not a real in Green Bay in the NFC North. I don't think that is a real top of line thought when it comes to negotiation. I might be wrong though, AJ. I might.
They know too, like you're going to deal with these people in these front offices the rest of your career, so you don't want to try to screw them anyway. You still want to do right by the team and not hold things up if you are. Like, I just wonder how much they're communicating. Are they speaking every day, or is it one of those deals? A lot of times we find out in negotiations, sometimes the sides don't speak for a week at a time. And you're like, man, this is crazy to think of.
That is crazy to think of. Have we heard anything about that?
No, not really.
What if Rodgers say, hey, look, it's a date on this. Y'all get this shit done or I'm going to sit here. Because they got to pay the money.
Or I'm coming into the facility. I'm going to take part in off-season workouts.
Imagine him showing up at OTAs.
Right.
Wouldn't be great for him.
I was saying, would he
wouldn't be the worst.
Would he do
in the
that?
world.
What's that?
Would he do that?
You think out of spite, Aaron Rodgers? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking him if he doesn't get
That's what I'm
traded.
saying.
I would if I was
Would
a
he
player.
show-
Yeah,
I would definitely do it.
Force their hand. If he wants to force their hand, yeah.
I mean, if he comes back and he's playing a spite season, they might win the Super Bowl with him.
yeah, but I think it's a spite within the building.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's.
0-17. Actually, probably go 8.
Well,
and
that's
9.
I don't think he would
He's
want to
not
do
going
that.
to do
His
that.
legacy would
Yeah,
not
he's
want
not
to
going to do that.
His MVP
Again.
years were spite inside the building.
They were.
Yeah, you're 100%
were.
right. Jesus.
I'd be ecstatic if they got their first round pick this year. At this point, it's like that for me personally, it'd be very tough to stomach like them just being like, all right, fuck it, we'll take a third round pick. Like that would suck. But if they get the 13th pick or whatever,
All right, who would you
call it a
blame
day.
if it's a second round pick?
I don't know.
What if it's like a second and a third? Something like that.
Because I'm always going to compare it to Russell Wilson. I'm going to look at what the Broncos got for Russell Wilson, and then I'm going to be like, this fucking guy who threw 12 touchdowns last year and, 18 picks and fucking sucked. And Rodgers has won 2 MVPs in the last 3 years, and he's going for a second and a third. And then the Broncos also, it just that would drive me insane.
So who would catch the brunt of that? Just like.
Well, it'd be the Packers front office.
So if it's a bad deal, I think who do we, because the situation has been made, and then if the trade is shit, who is the X factor?
Well,
of
yeah,
all of
because
that?
then it's like you were incredibly stubborn. You held the whole thing up, and then in the end, like when you needed to stay strong, you just fucking crumbled. And
it's an interesting thing because there's a lot of human stuff going on there behind closed doors. Everything you said about his legacy, he knows that. Goot knows that.
Oh yeah.
Guti knows that 100%. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's committed to it.
Yeah.
He thinks that there's massive success on the way. It's like, okay, if that's the case, let's go do it.
Let's get it done.
Let's
And,
go do it.
Like the Russ contract, like that would suck. And Russ got an extension, but like even the Devontae, like look what these wide receivers were getting traded for last year.
Tyreek Hill, what do you go for?
He got, I think, a first, a second, 2/3. Like that compensation for a wide receiver, and we're talking about Aaron Rodgers here, who like he's won 2 MVPs in the last 3
I think there was
years.
competition though in both those, right? The Jets and Miami were in
Yeah.
there.
But even looking back to the Devontae getting traded, in hindsight, it kind of feels like they got fleeced on that too.
Yeah, because what, Tyreek?
And what
That,
Devontae did.
and then Devontae, it's like he kind of has a ho-hum year, and he still has fucking 1,200 yards and catches 12 touchdowns. Like,
Oh yeah, he's washed.
Yeah, they traded the
That was a good play. He's washed. He's washed.
Cut the QB.
but I guess in that situation, they did offer him more. Like they tried to keep him.
Allegedly, have we heard that exactly from like anybody in Devontae's camp?
I don't know. I don't
That's
think
always
so.
been just like the story.
Yeah, true.
But
I
it's probably
I
true.
like to
Possible.
believe that.
Don't you think the Packers eventually try to leak through insiders that there's other teams coming for him to try to hurry the Jets up?
So that's what I'm saying too. Like, it feels like there's no.
I mean,
I don't want to dive back into this again. I just don't want to do it.
Devontae did confirm that the Packers offered more money.
Okay. Was it long term?
I don't know.
More or the same?
He mentioned
Matched or the same?
Offered bigger contract is the headline.
Yeah, and I remember this now, and Devontae said like the unknowingness of Aaron was a reason.
Yeah.
When it happened, I think we went to bat for the Packers doing it.
Yes.
Also, no state income tax in Nevada and being closer to home.
Yeah.
And Raiders. He was a Raiders fan, wasn't he?
Yeah. Derek Carr's like his best buddy growing up. He's not there anymore.
Roommates at first now.
Yeah, he's gone.